violence now. No religion preaches violence. We need understanding and tolerance. You can be you, I can be me. That's the way it should be. Say no to violence now. Sing it one more time. Peace, peace, peace. Let's all embrace peace. In the family, in schools, at work, everywhere. Say no to violence now.
So we feel that if those programs are actually implemented as planned, inshallah, we shall achieve our desired objectives.
President Jonathan meets northern traditional rulers over insecurity in the northeast.
By virtue of this intervention of the Honorable Minister for Petroleum Resources, the strike action embarked upon is hereby suspended.
Hope rises over end to fuel shortage as NNPC striking workers suspend strike. Plus, 2015 presidential election, President Jonathan receives special gift towards his re-election. Hello and welcome. This is NTA Network News. I am Aisha Bello Mustafa. The Central Bank of Nigeria, in collaboration with deposit money banks, will provide an intervention facility of 213 billion naira to settle the outstanding legacy gas debt and the shortfall in revenues by the PHCN successor companies. This measure was announced by the Minister of Petroleum Resources, Desiani Alison Madueke, at the joint press conference at the State House Banquet Hall. State House correspondent Shagun Lawole has the details.
It is the second in the series by the Ministry of Petroleum Resources in collaboration with the Ministry of Power, the Central Bank of Nigeria, and the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. The joint briefing was to update Nigerians on the federal government's activities and efforts towards improving the gas-to-power and improved electricity supply in the country. Before the current intervention by the federal government, a number of issues have hampered the much-needed investment in the sector and slowed down efforts to improve electricity supply, such as inadequate gas supply, price of gas, and depths for gas supplied to the power sector. Others included perceived misalignment between the price and the cost of running electricity, as well as revenue shortfall. The Petroleum Minister says it has become expedient for government to intervene and address the financial-related issues in the power sector.
The CBN, in collaboration with the deposit money banks, will provide a total facility of 213 billion naira to settle both the legacy gas debts as announced earlier, but also the shortfall in revenues to the sector since the handover of PHCN companies on November 1st. Electricity market, which now consists of many private operators, will repay this facility with a first-line charge on their revenues over a 10-year period.
The bailout is supposed to, one, stabilize the market, align tariffs to, with real-time situation.
All these measures are geared towards boosting investors' confidence and a rapid increase in electricity supply, with envisaged stability output of 5,000 megawatts by early 2015.
We need to resolve an outstanding legacy debt matter in an attempt to also ensure that in clearing this debt, that gas suppliers ramp up gas production. And as a result, with that, what we will begin to see is improvement in electricity generation and distribution to our people.
So that this intervention also is going to keep them revenue neutral. They will not get more than 1 naira than they're entitled if the tariff was properly set for them.
In the State House, Segun Lawole, NTA News.
In the meantime, the 5-day strike embarked upon by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation arm of the Pengatan and Nupeng has been suspended following intervention by the Minister of Petroleum Resources, Mrs. Desiani Alison Madueke. Energy correspondent Hawasaliu Adama reports.
In the last 1 week, staff of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) have consistently been locked out of the corporate headquarters in Abuja by the workers' union. Reasons given for this action border on what the union members call an unacceptable state of the nation's refineries and the threat by the National Pension Commission to withdraw the license granted the NNPC to run its own pension scheme. After a series of deliberations led by the Petroleum Minister, Mrs. Desiani Alison Madueke, the striking workers say they are convinced of the minister's intention to move the sector forward.
We are all stakeholders in the same business, but we've had very frank and open discussions, particularly around the pension scheme with NNPC. And I do believe that we have set the framework for moving very, very aggressively forward in terms of the issues that were put before us.
By virtue of this intervention of the Honorable Minister of Petroleum Resources, the strike action embarked upon by Nupeng and Pengasan of NNPC Group Executive Council and Department of Petroleum Resources DPRO branch of Nupeng and Pengasan is hereby suspended.
When I met the Minister of Petroleum Resources last night, and I bring to her this issue of pension. Now, the first question she asked me was, why was it not escalated to her?
Although the strike resulted in the build-up of queues at various petrol stations around Abuja, the minister advised Nigerians not to panic buy the product, as the nation is well stocked with adequate petrol. In Abuja, Hawa Salihu Adama, NTA News.
Worried by the spate of insecurity in the northern part of the country, especially in the northeast, the Northern Traditional Council, led by the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar, met with President Jonathan at the presidential villa. State House correspondent Segun Lawole has the details.
The visit of the Northern Council of Chiefs, led by the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar, is sequel to the council's meeting in Kaduna on Wednesday, which raised concerns over the level of insecurity and the dwindling economy of the North. All these, including relief materials for victims of insurgent attacks, most of whom have been displaced from their homes, were discussed with the President. The Council of Chiefs expressed satisfaction with the assurances given by the President, having been intimated with various measures put in place by the federal government, while the Council commended the government for the recent successes recorded by the armed forces in the fight against Boko Haram in Borno State.
Yes, actually we are very, happy that we have been given some information, some sort of advances that are already been put on, on the ground. Like when the Vice President gave us a short brief about all those elements that have already been put on the ground, like the victim support fund, like the intervention fund of 220 billion that's already in the central bank ready to be dispersed, and also even the agricultural programs that already put on ground for immediate takeoff. So we feel that if those programs are actually implemented as planned, inshallah, we shall achieve our desired objectives. Information
Minister Labaran Maku put in perspectives the meeting the council had with the President.
Meeting went well, and they, however, commended the army in the latest operations in Borno State. Particularly the Shah of Borno was happy that in recent days they have seen a tide in the counter-insurgency by the military. He said that there were remarkable successes in the recent countermeasures by the military, and they believe that if this tide continues, it is quite possible that the army will eventually flush out the insurgents, and there is a lot of public expectation that the military will continue to gain ground in the recent counter-offensive against the insurgents.
The Northern Council of Chiefs also commended the administration for effectively containing Ebola virus disease in the country. In the State House, Segun Lawole, NTA News.
Meanwhile, concerned about the food security situation in the country, traditional rulers want more proactive approach to agro-industrialization. Towards this end, a two-day National Development Summit of Traditional Rulers is holding in Abuja. Ruben Okala was there.
Even before colonization, they existed. Their regalia and attires stand them out as protectors of traditional values and customs. They outlive all governments and administrations. They are called the royal fathers or traditional rulers. Besides protecting customs, values, and traditions, they also contribute to national development. The 7th National Development Summit of Traditional Rulers provides them another opportunity to discuss the way forward for food security.
To make sure we concentrate on agriculture, which will benefit everybody, the masses.
When we go back home, we'll continue to enlighten the people so that agriculture will take the front burner.
Growing the crops to maximize the yield, but even more so, preserving what we have.
So thinking in terms of formulating policies that will increase the food supply in the country.
The summit features lectures with the Minister of State, Industry, Trade and Investment adding his voice to the discourse.
We must also make efforts to export some of them so that we can earn some resources back in our country.
The summit is with the theme Food Security and Agro-Industrialization in Nigeria, Realities, Potentials and Prospects. In Abuja, Ruben Okala, NTA News.
President Goodluck Jonathan has applauded the Nigerian Air Force and its partners for entrenching excellence in aviation training. The president, represented by the Vice President Muhammad Namadi Sambo, said this at the first graduation ceremony of the International Helicopter Flying School in Enugu. Hamza Musa Makarfi reports.
Going by this accomplishment, Nigeria now has 36 additional qualified helicopter pilots. 5 out of the number were sponsored by Yobe State government and 1 privately. The flying school, stakeholders say, is a trailblazer, first in Nigeria and West African sub-region. Its emergence under public-private initiative under the Nigerian Air Force further underscores the milestones of transformation in the aviation sector of Nigeria. It is operated in partnership with Triax Limited under Prince Arthur Eze. President Jonathan said the school should strive at all times to be among the first in the world while committing to the ideals of professionalism, experience and safety. He describes the ceremony as monumental achievement that will stand the test of time, saying the Air Force is moving in the right direction. He said officers and men of the Nigerian Air Force should continue to exemplify loyalty to the nation.
The Nigerian Air Force is moving in the right and positive direction toward fulfilling one of its mandates of being a center of excellence in aviation training, which is in line with Mr. President's transformation agenda through promotion of individualized training and industrial advancement.
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Adesola Amosu, said the training institution will continue to aim for higher results.
Today, mass government in Nigeria, as the International Helicopter Flying Training School graduates its first set of student pilots.
Prince Arthur Eze said the graduation ceremony is a sign of good things to come. From Enugu, I am Hamza Musa Makarfi, NTA News.
The federal government has flagged off the distribution of relief materials to Yobe, Borno and Adamawa states who are victims of insurgency. Presenting the relief materials on behalf of President Goodluck Jonathan, Minister of State Power Muhammad Wakil said the federal government is committed to end the security challenges facing the people in the affected states and other parts of the country.
I want to call the chairman of the committee and his members to make sure that these relief materials reach to the people.
The Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, Muhammad Sani Sidi, who is the chairman, Presidential Committee on Relief Intervention in the Northeast, speaks.
We expect all the journalists to be the watchdogs, to ensure that justice is done, to ensure that these items are distributed directly to the affected persons.
Receiving the materials on behalf of the displaced persons, Alhaji Usman Jiddashwa thanked President Goodluck Jonathan for his magnanimity and show of concern to the plight of the people and prayed God to bring an end to the insurgency. Earlier, the delegation paid a courtesy visit on the governor of Borno State to brief him on the visit. In another development, wounded officers and men of the Nigerian Armed Forces and those rendered incapacitated during counter-insurgency operations will be adequately catered for so as to encourage and boost the morale of other serving personnel. President of the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, Mary Bade, gave this indication when she visited wounded officers and men currently receiving treatment at the 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital, Kaduna. Defense correspondent KG Busari Ahmad reports.
By the Nigerian troops, the insurgents have not only lost huge numbers of men, but have also lost equipment such as anti-aircraft guns, many AK-47, assorted rifles, vehicles, and a host of others, while some local government areas formerly occupied by the insurgents have been reclaimed. This feat is not without the supreme price paid by some members of the Nigerian troops, with lives lost and a few incapacitated and wounded. To further encourage and boost the morale of the troop, the wife of the Chief of Defense Staff and President of the POA, Mary Iya Bade, identified with the soldiers.
They've done enough. They've defended our nation, and we just want to encourage them that hope is not lost. They have saved our nation, and it's not something that we can say we want to say thank you to them. It's not enough.
Some of the officers and soldiers receiving treatment at the 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital, Kaduna, who spoke with the crew behind camera, expressed their readiness to go back to the battleground and put to final rest the menace of insurgency. From the Nigerian Army Reference Hospital in Kaduna, KG Busari Ahmed, NTA News.
And for a bit on financial matters, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has resolved to maintain all monetary rates at the current levels. The governor of the central bank, who announced this after the meeting in Abuja, said the committee is satisfied with the relative stability in the economy. Shikiola Ikbinaye reports.
Taking critical consideration of international economic developments and relating it to domestic economic and financial development, the committee retained the monetary policy rate MPR at 12%, cash reserve requirement on public sector at 75%, while that of the private sector was retained at 15%.
Although the natural direction is to tighten, but we still felt that if we cannot reduce interest rates, we should just leave it stable rather than taking it up.
The MPC, however, raised concerns over the key risk to the economy, which lie in the possibility of capital reserves by the U.S. Federal Reserve amidst dwindling oil output and declining oil prices, domestic security challenges, and upward trending of headline inflation. Of greater concern is the excess liquidity reserves being held by banks, averaging over 300 billion naira.
What the banks are doing is placing this money either in treasury bills or even investing them at the CBN window, at the CBN SDF window.
In Abuja, Shikiola Ikpenayi, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. Up ahead, Youth Corps member contributes to President Jonathan's re-election as former Vice President Atiku Abubakar joins the race. Details after the break. Join us again.
The jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
With excitement on the Airtel Android bundle. To activate, dial *437# for 2 GB at 2,000 Naira or *438# for 4.5 GB at 3,500 Naira. Come alive with the Airtel Android bundle.
He builds schools all over the country. He is giving free education to over 10,000 poor children. Born an Igbo man, raised in the north and empowered by the West. He believes in the unity of Nigeria. He is compassionate. He transformed Imo in 3 years. Every day, he thinks about the people. Owele Rochas Okorocha, Senior Advocate of the Nigerian masses and Commander of Free Education, come to the rescue. This message is from Nigeria Rescue Group.
Share the joy of a seamless connection. Visafone, your passport to reach the world.
Ha. One peace, one love.
We are progressive, friends of Nigeria. We are friends, not at east or west.
East or west.
We go unite, no matter the language. We are the same, Nigeria go better. Peace go day, progress go day. Nigeria, now we country, better leader.
Yes, sir.
Now better friend, Goodluck Jonathan, now you better. PFM, good governance, great nation. Friends of Goodluck Jonathan, friends of Nigeria.
Hey, where's our buddy? G Happy Hour. G Happy Hour. Come in. G Happy Hour. G Happy Hour. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party. Let's move to the groove and party. Let's party. Go, G Happy Hour. Go, G Happy Hour. Raise the roof. Let's make some noise. Let's party.
Wherever there's G Happy Hour, there's a party.
I used to actively protect my family from malaria, but I could never kill 100% mosquitoes. That one mosquito always keeps coming back stronger.
One mosquito bite can cause malaria.
I will not tolerate even one more mosquito in my house, because now I have Mortein Power Guard.
Mortein Power Guard, with a scientifically proven powerful formula, kills 100% mosquito.
Not even one mosquito will escape with my Mortein.
Mortein kills 100% mosquitoes.
Transformation ambassadors of Nigeria.
My good people of Nigeria, does anybody use mirror to look at what you have at hand? No! Good luck at the ingredients of life. Automobile industries, full encouragement. Second Niger bridge from mirage to reality. Good luck! Railways, seaports and airports are come back to modern life. Good luck! Or a Benin highway and other federal highways from dead trap to modern spectacle. Good luck! Ayua, petrol and nyaf with control price and so many other etc. Good luck I do. Good luck are going to do, and good luck will be yours. Are you see what I'm saying? Only good luck affects the security challenges of Nigeria with honesty and commitment, fighting terrorism to a halt.
Good luck continue for Nigeria.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. Done for one vision, Nigeria.
Shopee has ensured the reconstruction of the Abuja Lokoja Road and the East-West Road in Port Harcourt.
The standard gauge rail tracks from Abuja to Kaduna and Lagos to Kano indicate that our trains are coming back.
The second Niger Bridge in the southeast and the local Oweto Bridge in the north-central are in progress, thanks to Shopee.
Shopee's mass transit program has made transportation easier for Nigerians.
Shopee has rehabilitated over 1,000 health centers across Nigeria.
Shopee has provided mama kits to pregnant women, and polio is on the verge of eradication.
Shopee has also ensured the provision of social amenities, and through its various training programs for young people, guarantees a better future.
Shopee, delivering service with integrity.
Thank you for being there. President Goodluck Jonathan says he will continue to count on the support, goodwill and prayers of patriotic Nigerians as he strives to give the best possible leadership towards the positive transformation of the country. In a letter to a youth corps member, Ezemagu Sunday Namdi, who sent a donation of 10,000 naira as a humble contribution to the president's re-election effort, President Jonathan said he is deeply touched and encouraged by the support. He assures Nigerians that he will continue to do his best in the service of the nation. Turning to political matters now, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has formally declared his intention to contest for the presidential ticket of the All Progressives Congress APC ahead of the 2015 elections. He made his intention known while speaking to journalists in Abuja. Aisha Tuzango Abdullahi has details.
Alhaji Atiku Abubakar says his decision to seek his party's ticket to contest for the presidency in 2015 was born out of a wide range of consultation with political associates.
And the consultation tour took me to all the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. And we even had voting in each zone I went.
The former vice president says he is willing to respect the decision of his party whichever way it goes at the end of the primaries.
We need to work together. We need to be together in APC for APC to succeed.
The former number 2 man rounded his briefing by calling on Nigerians to rally round the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, through close monitoring to ensure a free, fair and credible polls in 2015. In Abuja, Aisha Zango Abdullahi, NTA News.
And the newly formed Unity Party of Nigeria, UPN, rose from its National Executive Committee meeting in Abuja with a resolve to field candidates for all elective positions in the 2015 general elections. Correspondent Abdullahi Garba Barnukudu has the details.
For those following history of Nigerian politics will remember the Unity Party of Nigeria, UPN, during the Second Republic. A newly formed UPN says it is regaining acceptability in the country, especially as a formidable party then in the southwest. That is why it agreed to contest the 2015 elections.
For the record, the Unity Party of Nigeria is adequately prepared. We are orchestrating, simulating the material and technical conditions for a composite epiphany of the UPN to make us adequately prepared for all the electoral contexts.
We say that anybody running for presidency must pay 5 million. Governorship 2.5 million. And because if we are a party for the masses, the rest are very cheap.
The women will also have a deal in the party.
UPN is the party that is ready to give everything free of charge. And women are been clamoring for this, and they are solidly behind this party because of their readiness for women.
INEC registered Unity Party of Nigeria in 2014. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Anglican Bishop and Primate of all Nigeria, Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, has advised politicians to shun politics of bitterness to ensure a credible, free and fair general elections in 2015. Most Reverend Oko was speaking at the 11th General Synod of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion held at the Cathedral Church of Good Shepherd, Enugu. Kelechi Ochiabo has the details.
The General Synod, which is celebrated once in 3 years, has its theme as Thy Kingdom Come. Presenting his address, Most Reverend Nicholas Oko condemned the way and manner election figures are manipulated in the country. He, however, urged the politicians and INEC officials to ensure that the forthcoming general election is conducted with fairness and equity.
If the politicians allow righteousness to be the umpire, if the electorate allow righteousness to be the umpire, if INEC allow righteousness to be the umpire, then the country will remain strong, solid, and promising.
The Minister of Power, Professor Chinedu Nebo, who represented President Goodluck Jonathan, stressed the need to build a Nigeria where true patriotism is embraced by every Nigerian.
We appreciate the loyal support of the church so far, but plead with you never to relent in your efforts praying for Nigeria.
The host clergy and Archbishop of Enugu Ecclesiastical Province, Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma, said the choice of the theme of the General Synod is geared towards calling for God's intervention in the situation of the country. In Enugu, Kelechi Ochiara, NTA News.
Anambra State Governor Chief Willie Obiano has signed a memorandum of understanding worth $220 million in the areas of agriculture and infrastructural development. Ekene Ndulwe has the details.
The first MOU will see a leading UK private equity group investing the sum of $150 million in agriculture. The company proposes to take over the Omo rice mill, 10,000 hectares of virgin land, and the 3,850 hectare Lower Anambra irrigation project. While signing the MOU, Governor Obiano, who explained that the state is currently producing about 80,000 metric tons of rice annually, said the arrangement under which the agro-based firm will produce about 100,000 metric tons annually will boost the state's capacity to become a net exporter of rice in the nearest future. Similarly, Governor Obiano has also signed a memorandum of understanding with a real estate firm. The $70 million arrangement will see the firm complete the construction of a state-owned 4-star hotel in Onitsha, a 2,000 capacity conference center, and 161 units of luxury flats also in Onitsha.
I understand that when you start production, this will employ not less than 10,000 youths from Anambra State, and also.
The governor had earlier signed a 728 million naira contract to revamp the state-owned Anambra Broadcasting Service radio and television stations. The process, which will place the TV station on satellite, will also ensure easy migration to digital broadcasting before June next year. In Oka, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
The Director General, National Center for Women Development, Onyeka Onwenu, is asking for total inclusion of the girl child in all developmental programs, especially with the Central Bank of Nigeria's allocation of 220 billion naira for small and medium enterprises development. She was speaking during a courtesy visit on the management of NTA to solicit cooperation for its forthcoming Women and Girls Summit in Abuja. Talatu Ezerike reports.
Every female under the age of 18 is a girl child, and many of them in some parts of the country are faced with challenges that include poor enrollment in school, socio-cultural factors, child parenting, abuses, and limited resources to cater for their well-being. This is a trend the National Center for Women's Development wants to change for optimal development, cohesion and peace through its maiden annual Women and Girls Summit scheduled for 13th and 14th October in Abuja. It is therefore seeking the partnership of the NTA for the summit that is in collaboration with the Office of the First Lady to close gaps in the girl-child development.
It's a game changer for this country to realize that we cannot leave this group of people behind. They will bear and raise future generations of Nigeria. They are future leaders.
Her visit on NTA comes at a time when the authority is coming up with new programs with rich content in keeping up with its vision, objectives and goals that promotes national unity, development and cohesion.
A significant portion of the population is the female population. If we're able to take care of a girl, a woman, we're taking care of the nation.
Well, the Lady of Songs left one word with the NTA.
Living in a world is a struggle to stay alive. One love, keep us together.
In Abuja, Talatu Ezerike, NTA News.
President Jonathan condoles leadership of the synagogue, plus a bit on business from our Lagos studio with Jennifer Igwe. Jennifer, you're on.
Thank you, Aisha. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. President Goodluck Jonathan has condoled families and friends of victims of the collapsed building at the Synagogue Church of All Nations. The president's message was conveyed to the leadership of the church by Charles Otegbade, the director of Search and Rescue of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, in Lagos. Amechi Pius reports.
NEMA's director of Search and Rescue, who briefed the media after meeting with the leadership of the church, he disclosed that the president has directed NEMA to provide the church with necessary assistance, particularly with regards to ascertaining the number of foreigners who died in the collapsed building. The director said forensic examination has already commenced, adding that the agency at the end of the search and rescue operations on Thursday had recovered 86 bodies.
We have our forensic experts here, and some experts also and family members from South Africa. They have come in, and we are doing all that we can do, scientifically identify the victims, and then when this one is done, we'll be able to say categorically that, okay, so number of people from so number of countries passed on.
The affected building was the hostel allocated to foreign members of the church from South Africa, many of whom had arrived the country a day before the building collapsed on Friday. Meanwhile, officials of the South African embassy have been visiting the church to ascertain the number of their nationals who died in the building. In Lagos, Amechi Pius, NTA News.
The Nigerian Ports Authority has recorded another major success in port operations with the introduction of a new electronic platform for ship entry notice, eSend. The managing director of the authority, Habib Abdullahi, made this known while giving account of the management stewardship for the past 2 years. Ademola Adeoye has the details.
In line with the transformation agenda of the present administration, the management of the Nigerian Port Authority has in the last 2 years embarked on revolutionary programs designed to improve port operations and efficiency. The managing director of the organization, while reading the scorecard, said government has improved on all existing port infrastructures, the rehabilitation of the quay walls and aprons, rehabilitation of the east and west moles, and the deepening of the channels to attract bigger vessels.
It's going to increase mainly our revenue, to eliminate interfacing with our staff, between our staff and customers. Therefore, quicker and better way of doing business.
The management has also introduced e-payment and ICT platforms for maritime stakeholders. The management of the authority said the eSend is designed to simplify customers' ship entry payment process.
eSend is instant. What used to take NPA 5 hours to process will now be done instantaneously without customers having to have any interactions with our people.
Before it was manually driven. People will apply manually before they get the approval, like what was mentioned in the Eastern Port. Somebody in Calabar will have to travel to Port Harcourt to apply, but now you just do it in the comfort of your office.
We've already deployed the e-payment platform, so they can log on, make payments, and then we process for them where to berth without them coming.
Stakeholders at the event also commented on the benefits of the electronic system. In Lagos, Ademola Adeoye, NTA News.
This is still the NTA Network News at 9. Moving on now to business news with Abdullahi Mohammed.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us on Business News. My name is Abdullahi Mohammed. The federal government, through the Bank of Industry, has earmarked 5 billion naira to finance cottage value chain drivers in the nation's agribusiness sector. The loans will be granted at a single digit of 9% per annum, with a total management fee of 1% at 5-year tenure rate and a moratorium of 6 months. The fund, if adequately accessed, will generate an estimated 20,000 jobs. A number of partners have been pooled together to ensure effective implementation of the scheme, which is part of the present administration's transformation agenda to increase crop production, reduce imports and create jobs.
We are about to announce a list of business development support service firms, people who will also, handhold the applicants to ensure that the application, by the time it gets to Bank of Industry, is bankable.
And here are details of trading at the close of business on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange today. Transactions on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange today closed, leaving market capitalization at 13.55 trillion naira. All share index was 41,049.28 points. About 580.25 million shares were sold on the floor, valued at 463 billion naira in 4,388 deals. Nestle topped the gainers list. It closed 1,050 naira, gained 39 naira 35 kobo. New Gold follow to add 7 naira to the value of its shares. Seplat topped the losers chart. It shared 12 kobo, while Mobile followed to depreciate by 6 naira. And that's business news tonight. NTA Network News continues shortly. The turnaround team heartily welcomes our dear President, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, to the Southwest Unity Rally. Our people oppose for a new beginning, reconciliation and political reawakening. Your Excellency, sir, the turnaround team applauds your transformation agenda as they are making enduring impact on our nation. Mr. President, the good people of the Southwest register our strong support as you continue to steer the road of our dear nation in these challenging times. The horizon is clearing and our nation is moving forward in positive and maturing paces. Venue, Tafabele Square, time 10 a.m., date Saturday 20th September 2014. Ekabo, sir. Signed, Chief Olabode Ibienka George, Chairman, Turnaround Team Southwest.
For the sweetest scent, for the highest flight, for the fastest drive, form follows function. The world's first curved OLED TV. Picture perfect. It's all possible. LG OLED TV.
Introducing the great tasting new Mini-Me Chin Chin. Rich in yummy ingredients like milk, butter, and wheat. Mini-Me, crunchy. Mini-Me, tasty. Get the unique taste of mini-me chin-chin.
Auntie.
Oh, hello, my dear. I see you went shopping with your mom, right? And what did you buy?
Power oil. It has 0 cholesterol and 0 trans fats. And contains vitamin A and natural vitamin E. It's a healthy oil for healthy family.
I'll buy Power Oil next time I go shopping, huh?
Power Oil. Healthy for you.
22 artists, 44 collaborations, 5 countries, 9 episodes.
Coke Studio, baby.
Catch Coke Studio Africa Season 2 every Saturday from the 13th of September at 7 p.m. on AIT.
Love is the greatest of all virtues. The Holy Bible and the Holy Quran tell us so. Love is not boastful. Love is humble, cool under pressure. Love is hope for the next generation. Love is the North, East, West, and South living in unity. Love is progress despite adversity. It makes the impossible possible. Love is a secure nation with prosperity for all. Love is transformation. We need more love. Good luck, Abele Jonathan. Driven by love for God and country. Mr. President, we appreciate you. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Welcome back. With more interest expressed in the nation's power sector by foreign investors, the federal government says all forms of power generation will be explored in boosting electricity supply in Nigeria. Minister of State Power Muhammad Wakil said this during a symbolic document signing ceremony in Abuja with a consortium seeking to construct a 260 megawatts power plant in Ewekoro, Ogun State. The project, estimated at $400 million, is backed by the International Finance Corporation, a subsidiary of the World Bank. With this agreement, the cement manufacturing company has expressed its readiness to supply to the national grid excess power produced from its cement plant. To this end, at least 220 megawatts will be available to the national grid out of the 260 megawatts expected to be produced from the power plant. New legal year commences in Edo State. Benedicta Ehanire has that story from our Benin studio. Good to see you, Benedicta.
To Aisha. Good evening from Benin. Integrity and transparency in the resolution of cases are to form the focus of the judicial process of the 2014-2015 legal year of the Edo State Judiciary. The State's Chief Judge, Justice Cromwell Idahosa, has therefore said conduct that negate the principles of fairness and objectivity will not be tolerated from officers. He gave these indications at a special court session to mark the opening of the new legal year. Agatha Egwari has details.
Justice Idahosa said the fact is that the year will be a busy and challenging one because of the forthcoming general elections underscores the importance of building confidence in the courts, which can be done through making court proceedings open to the public, except for sensitive cases, and making known the grounds for judgments. The state governor, Comrade Adams Oshomole, commended the state judiciary for what he called the honest and quality of judgments delivered during the period under review. The court session was preceded by a church service at which the Anglican Bishop of Benin and Edo State Chairman of CAN, Right Reverend Peter Emaswen, urged all officers of the law to put God first in the discharge of their duties. In Benin, Agatha Egwari Uju, NTA News.
That was the news from Benin. We're back to you, Aisha. Good evening.
Thanks a lot, Benedicta. A model skills acquisition center with hostel facilities to accommodate 250 trainees for various empowerment programs has been launched in Bwari, Abuja by the National Directorate of Employment, NDE. Minister of Labour and Productivity Emeka Wogu said the project, which is replicated in 64 of the 74 NDE centers nationwide, is part of efforts towards creating 3 million jobs by the federal government. Emmanuel Ayimero reports.
Before 2008, the National Directorate of Employment relied on craftsmen in the informal sector for vocational trainings, which had a lot of shortcomings. To raise these standards, bridge skill gap and meet current skill requirements for employment opportunities or self-sustenance, the federal government has employed qualified instructors at various vocational centers to provide skills for poverty reduction.
We've gone to see state-of-the-art workshop. We've gone to see food processing department, agri section, and all-comprehensive center.
The NDE management is determined to sustain and improve on this initiative.
About 12 different trades are available for acquisition depending on the choice of every trainee.
I'm a married man, but coming to this particular place, I'm able to know how to put Maggi and salt together and then make it the
So far, 16,475 artisans have benefited from this initiative. From Bwari Center, Emmanuel Ayimiro, NTA News.
With the approval of a design for the 6-lane Second Niger Bridge, practical construction work is expected to commence after the rainy season. Minister of Works announced this at the 2014 ministerial briefing in Abuja. Correspondent Ismail Musa has the details.
Enhanced road network is a critical component of a developing nation like Nigeria. That is why the federal government has invested 1,765 billion naira in different ongoing road projects that cut across the nation's 6 geopolitical zones. From the state of about 4,500 kilometers of fair roads in 2011, today, more than 25,000 kilometers of federal road network are in motorable condition.
By the end of 2013, areas of political zone Nigeria witnessed enhanced construction activities covering the total corridor of about 6,500 kilometers.
From the state of about 4,500 kilometers of fair roads in 2011, today, more than 25,000 kilometers of federal road network are in motorable condition. The development on the Benin-Ore-Shagamu-Lagos Expressway, Abuja-Lokoja, Utukpo Ayangba-Ajakuta, and the Jeba-Lafia-Jimokwa Road, among others, has now accorded motorists reduced travel time and vehicle operating costs. The Operation Zero Pothole and Preventive Maintenance Program of the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, in addition to the Road Sector Development Package of the Road Sector Development Team, have complemented the efforts of the Federal Ministry of Works in road development. Despite the current security challenge in the northeastern part of the country, the Ministry of Information said the zone has 26 ongoing federal road projects.
Unfortunately, the insurgency in the northeast has reduced the pace of work for us. And as we overcome that threat, we will find that the roads will be delivered faster, because in that part of the country, it is not as bad as in the south. The northern part, you can deliver roads faster.
The ministerial briefing continues with presentation from other ministers. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Muslims in Nigeria are advised to continue to be steadfast in their prayers for the restoration of peace in the country, especially the troubled states of the northeast. Musa reports.
The need for peaceful coexistence has continued to be the focus of Friday's sermons in mosques in Nigeria. This Friday, the Imam of the National Mosque called on Muslims to dedicate themselves to prayers, especially in the approaching month of Zulhajj. Special prayers were offered for the restoration of peace in the country, especially in the troubled northeast.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reinstall peace and harmony in every nook and cranny of our nation, Nigeria.
We appeal
to all Nigerians, regardless of any boundary of religion, to pray.
At the Area 11 Garki Friday Mosque, the Imam warns that insurgency, sycophancy and lukewarm attitude to prayers are some of the major causes of misunderstandings and lack of harmony amongst peoples, and therefore warns against such. Quoting from chapter 2, 5 and 15 of the Holy Quran, Imam Ahmad Abdullahi Karshi says only those who are just are true Muslims. He calls on Muslims in the country to continue to pray for peace and unity of the country and elsewhere. Musa, NTA News.
The National Orientation Agency has developed an initiative called Employment by Merit to curb the menace of youth unemployment and restiveness in the country. The Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Mike Omeri, made the disclosure when he received Golden Touch Basketball, a non-governmental organization which specializes in talent hunt and sponsorship amongst youth in Nigeria. He said the initiative will accommodate 40 scholarships for talents in sports and vocational programs. The coordinator of the NGO, Huzi Michelia, commended the Director General, Michael Mary, for championing the cause of youth in Nigeria and said it chose the National Orientation Agency as a partner to identify with the agency's Do the Right Thing campaign. Up ahead is sports. Don't go away.
Joint Senate Committee on Trade and Establishment and Public Service invites stakeholders and the public to the two-day public hearing on the amendment of the Oil and Gas Bill 2014. Date 24th and 25th September 2014. Venue Conference Room 231, National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Time 10 a.m. Special guest of honor, the Senate President, Senator David Mark. Guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Olusegun Aganga. All memoranda should be submitted to the clerk of the committee or the chairman office on or before 22nd September. Senator Odion M. Ubesie, Chairman, Announcer.
Youths from across the globe will be converging for the second edition of the Brotherhood of the Cross and Star All Youth Assembly Paya Abuja 2014 from the 19th through the 21st of September 2014 at the International Conference Center, Abuja, with the theme, One God, One Nation. The event will feature the unveiling of the roadmap for peace in the nation in a bid to refocusing the youths by His Holiness Olumba Obu, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Don't be left out. Come and witness the transcending power of the living God. Thank you, Father. LOC announcer.
Bragging is not President Goodluck Jonathan's style, so you'd hardly hear him brag about all the great things he is doing for Nigeria. He wouldn't tell you he's the first president to privatize power, to give us a constant supply of electricity and economic prosperity. Soon your electricity will be like your mobile phones, 24 hours, 7 days a week. He won't brag about security, new roads, new rail, or new airports, eliminating corruption in agriculture and saving $25 billion per year, mass housing projects, or that our economy is growing at the fastest rate in the world. He wouldn't brag about any of it because he knows there's a lot more to be done. Mr. President, right on. We that are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
And now sports with Kene Emma Abodike.
A number of footballers and administrators, including Asisa Oshala, the highest goal scorer at the 2014 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Canada, as well as Falconers captain Patience Okame, have been listed to receive national honors come September 29 in Abuja. Other recipients of the national honors are members of the all-conquering Golden Eagles class of 2013, as well as coaches and backroom staff of the team. The 2015 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier between Nigeria and Sudan in October may likely be played at the main bowl of the Abuja National Stadium. The playing pitch, which has been under rehabilitation since early 2013, has been certified ready to host the event. Director General of National Sports Commission, Wenga Elebaleya, and the Director of Facilities in the Commission, Ibrahim Shehu, spoke to NTA Sport.
It's very much ready for competitions. Next match against Sudan, next home match will be played there.
We now have a perfect pitch for the country, the best I can say.
All the week 27 matches of Nigeria Premier League will be decided on Sunday. El Kanemi Warriors await the visit of Heartland of Owerri, while Abia Warriors are expected to travel to Akure for their game against Sunshine Stars. Kano Pillars continue their title defense against Akwa United. FC Taraba will be guests in Jos against Giwa FC, and Nemba City welcome Lobi Stars of Makodi.
The remains of a former historian and former Vice-Chancellor, University of Lagos, Professor Emeritus Ade Ajayi, has been buried at his country home in Ekiti State. At the funeral service, the Archbishop of Ondo and Ekiti Diocese of the Anglican Church, Most Reverend Latunji Laoshe Bikon, admonished the congregation to strive for perfection in their Christian life, since death is inevitable. Michael Olale reports. We're sorry we can't bring you that report now, but as we leave you, we remind you that it is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of State Security. That's it on Network News tonight. Thank you for watching and have a pleasant weekend.